And when I studied marketing at university, they didn't teach me anything about online marketing, but as soon as I graduated, that's pretty much all I did. I studied marketing. It was a very popular course, but there's not many jobs in marketing. And so I ended up in sales, and most people who study marketing end up in sales. And when I'm sitting in a sales office with no customers and no one wants to give me any leads because I'm new at the job, I started to study digital marketing and SEO, and I learned that the best salespeople had the best leads. And so if I could control the lead generation, then I could get more sales than anyone else. And I was very competitive, I still am. I started my career in Phuket, Thailand. So Phuket, Thailand is seasonal, sitting there in the middle of like monsoon season. It was raining outside and all I had in the office was me and a laptop. By the time high season came around, I had about 5 months lead time. We got the website, the developer I was working for, to the #1 on Google for property investment Phuket. We sold 96 pool villas within one high season. Google updates its algorithm. The websites that I'd optimized went from page 1 to page 100, right? Because the algorithm update, what I was doing, no longer didn't work. It could get you blacklisted. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is not taking shortcuts with digital marketing, because at the start, when things are very immature, there's all these little hacks, and everyone's looking for this like quick way to gain an edge. At the moment, it's things like buying followers or algorithm hacks. And what happens is, because the platforms want to give their users a good experience, they're going to get smarter, just like Google has. And eventually, they will give the consumer the experience that they want. So when I arrived in Hong Kong, I had all these high expectations on me. I decided that I would learn about Google advertising as a way to fulfill the expectations that were placed upon me. And at the time, it wasn't very competitive, it wasn't very expensive. So I got extremely good at Google AdWords. Later on, when social media came out, AdWords becoming more competitive, expensive. When things become more competitive, they do become more expensive. And I was looking at Facebook and I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to make money out of this. When I discovered LinkedIn, I decided that it was a platform for me, purely because it's in a business-to-business context. I could contact 10 prospects, have 6 phone calls, 4 meetings, and make 1 sale. That was the conversion rate I got the first week I tried LinkedIn. And as a salesperson, I was like, okay, cool, awesome. Next week I'm going to do 10 prospects, made 2 sales. But they were always high-value sales. So I was focusing on plastic surgeons, right? They were the most high-value clients you could possibly get in digital marketing. I couldn't reach them through door knocking because of the practice manager. I couldn't reach them through cold calling because of the practice manager. LinkedIn, I could reach them. 2 years ago, I think it was, on LinkedIn, it became more of a content platform. So you could only publish articles before that, and it wasn't much long before that where only 200 people could publish articles. And then they introduced video to the platform. And what's happened in the last 12 months alone is the amount of time that people are spending on LinkedIn has tripled. It's gone up 3 times, the user sessions that people are spending on there. So it makes a huge difference. You think about the amount of attention that's on there. So 635 million members on LinkedIn, which is a lot, and it's growing at 2 members every second. The amount of time they're spending on there has increased substantially as well. What do you think is happening with Facebook at the moment? Do you reckon usage is increasing or decreasing? Yeah, it's just, this is the first year it's decreased. What's very interesting to me though is that it's decreased more with the younger guys. So that's an indication, isn't it, that it's going to continue to decrease if nothing changes. Having said that, Facebook own Instagram. What's happening on Instagram? Increasing or decreasing? It's increasing, yeah. The biggest thing with B2C, by the way, while we're on this, is micro-influencers. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? I've got a few blank looks. So influencer marketing, it's matured at the high end with all the celebrity type influencers with over 1 million followers, and if anything, it's overpriced. What's happening now is this resurgence of all these micro-influencers, and from a B2C perspective, it's extremely underpriced. If you're in business to business, because I want you to take away this one tip, like if you're in business to consumer, micro-influencers is what you need to remember today. And if you're in business to business, what you need to remember is LinkedIn. So for next year, there's a lot that's going to change in the social media industry. And I'm not just saying that, I don't say that every year. The number of searches by voice is going to overtake the number of people typing in searches. It's going to be questions and answers, isn't it? And actually, the websites that will rank really well on Google are going to have less text, not more text, like we've been told to do by SEO companies and stuff, like cramming keywords in there. Google's not going to want to show those websites at the top. They want to show succinct Q&A type content. And if you ever search how to do anything on Google, you'll find that the rich snippet at the top is generally a step-by-step instruction. That's why there's so many lists out there. 5 ways to do this, or 5 steps to do that. That's what Google's looking for. This is not a talk about search engine optimization, by the way. I'm just giving you some context. Content marketing is really what we're talking about here. It's having conversations at scale. I was talking to somebody that came along to this talk that we did about a month ago this morning. And I said to him, I had 1,500 notifications on social media when I woke up this morning. That used to overwhelm the shit out of me, but I'm used to it now. I can't imagine what somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk must feel when he wakes up. He would have 500,000 notifications easily. Crazy. He's got a team of 30, but that's not that many for the amount of attention that he's getting. There's never been a time in history where you can literally reach that amount of people at scale without investing $1. You've just got to be really good, really creative. So what's interesting to me is, why aren't people taking advantage of this opportunity? Like, who is in this room, just out of curiosity, posting content on a daily basis? And so the people that aren't posting daily, I'm curious, what is the reason behind that? If you're here to get more customers and you want to build a brand, how come you're not posting? And I think often it is because they don't know what works, but it's interesting because you find out what works by posting.
Daniel, isn't it also that we're going to post on a daily basis, that we think we don't have enough to say? We may put something together once a week, but every day.
When you say that to me, I think that you're not thinking about the audience. Because as long as the audience has problems that you solve, if they're asking you questions or they've got problems that they're coming to you with, then you should have content to talk about. And if they don't have problems that they're coming to you with, then maybe not in the right business. So they should do. And it's about them. And your solution, right, doesn't have any value without the problem that it solves. Without the problem that your potential client has, who cares about your solution? Doesn't matter. So what the mistake that a lot of business owners or marketers make is they talk about their solution and they don't spend enough time on the problem, because that's where the value is. The only reason someone buys something from you is because they think that what you offer is worth more than the problem they have. And so you've got to communicate that you understand and have empathy for what their problem is. It's really important. You could write a whole article, 700 words, about the problem. You don't have to say anything about the solution. If you define the problem better than the potential customer can, they will assume neurologically that you have the solution.